She got pre-workout. Woo! Guys, welcome back to yet another live, first one of the week. We've had 4 days off from live, so you should be feeling really like charged up right now and ready to go. Today's live is going to be a full body fat burn with abs, okay? So we're basically doing 4 circuits like normal. Well done for making it. I am so freaking proud of you for showing up yet again. Slight difference in the format this time in that they're 9 minutes long each circuit. So we're doing 9 minutes, 9 minutes, 9 minutes, 9 minutes, and it's 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off. Now that does not mean that it's easier. It basically means that we're gonna be going in harder, we're gonna be getting more sweaty, we are going to be pushing, and I'm going to be shouting at you as per. Now, just a quick one, because in my private Facebook group, I've been reading your comments, guys, and I want you to know this workout is for absolutely everyone, regardless of your fitness level. So there's beginner modifications. If you have knee injuries, hip injuries, back injuries, and you can't jump, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to show you the beginner modifications, just follow me. This is you against you, okay? Not against anyone else who's here. It's just about pushing yourself to the ultimate maximum of your level. Okay, any injuries, you know what to do. Please be careful. We're gonna start in 15 seconds, but before we do, guys, if you wouldn't mind quickly smashing the thumbs up button. How many people have we got, Tira?
There's 1,215 people.
Ah!
450 likes.
Let's see if we can get, oh my gosh, guys, hit the like button quickly now. Go out of live chat and hit the like button, okay? We're just skipping side to side. As you know, it kind of starts off okay, then we're gonna majorly up it. I want you dripping with sweat. 1, 2, 1, 2, fake skipping. Woo! Apparently I woo a lot. I'm trying to stop wooing so much. Na, 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 na. 20 seconds, guys. Hold tight. Just a warm up. Really back. Feeling it. 10 seconds. Good. Keep pushing. 3, 2, 1. Relax. 15 seconds recovery. Remember, we have a nutrition Q&A straight after this. So we're answering your questions, all things nutrition. Okay, next up is gonna be your shutter lunge. 1, 2, drop on the 3rd. Let's go. Good work. Beginners, I want you going with a back lunge, okay? Beginners, step back and forward. Core tight and push it. Let's go. Good, core really nice and tight, guys. Let's see if we can get to 1,400 today. Let's see.
1,400.
What? 1,500. Come on, guys. That would be like a dream. Come on. Nice and fast, beginners, but control it. Keep going. Knee over the middle toe, okay? Just the warm up. Good work. 3 part. We come here. 1, 2 on the 3rd, we stick, hold, hold, hold. Beginners, step it, okay? It's gonna start getting harder. 2, 1, let's go. Crunch in. Speed it up. Over halfway, guys. Come on, push. Beginners. Step it. Really crunch in, beginners. Good, 5 seconds. Good work. I've noticed I have a wonky mat. That drives me crazy.
It's and Erica Fonseca's birthday.
Hey! Happy birthday, guys! We have 4 jump punches, 4 jump jacks. Beginners, step them. Let's go. Beginners. Good work. Come on, really nice and fast. Jump if you can, guys. Core tight, come on, push it, push it, push it. Everything! Let's go! thumbs up button. That will help us see more people see us, is what I'm trying to say. Jump in, out squats, nice and low. Let's go. Beginners, step them. Push it! Woo! Nice and low, come on. I am watching you. I'm in your living room with you. And if you think about stopping, I'm gonna jump through that camera and force you to carry on, okay? Do not give up. Keep pushing. I'm watching you. Dominique, Louisa, Virag, Alexandra, Olia, I know you're all here. Keep pushing. Yes, guys, absolutely killing it. Jump curtsies.
Isabel Leonhardt donated 2 Swiss francs.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank you for donating. Okay, you can either step or jump these. Let's go. Beginners, you're just literally stepping, sinking low, feeling that outer booty. Let's go. Guys, I want energy. I want everything. The first circuit is the warm-up. Try and keep up with that beat, particularly if you're jumping. So, jump, jump, jump. 12 seconds. Come on. Beginners, step it. Push it. Push it. Woo! Down to the mat. I'm pausing. This is your first set of burpees, guys, okay? I want you to go as fast as you physically can, as many as you physically can. If you can, full burpee. If not, beginners follow me. Count your reps going in 10 seconds. Guys, this is everything. We're doing 4 rounds of burpees. Make it friggin' good. 2, beginners, follow me. Step in, step. Count your reps. Guys, you have 30 seconds left. I want it all. Keep pushing, okay? Keep pushing. You're coming up to halfway. Okay, double it. Double it. Come on, guys. Woo! 15 seconds. Keep pushing. Woo! 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Guys, quickly write in your reps. Let me know how many you got. Okay, 15 seconds, my favorite. And I think you guys are enjoying this now. Fast feet, slight bend. When I clap, touch the floor, jump up. Okay, rather than a burpee. Beginners, follow me. Let's go. Fast feet, core tight. Beginners, hit. Other wide jump. Advance. Last one. Yes. Beginners, if you're struggling to touch the floor, normal squat. Let's go. Come on, guys. 1,500. Oh my gosh. Come on. Push it, push it, push it, push it. 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. How was that, squad? Feeling it? Are you feeling it? Okay, 8 high knees into 8 mountain climbers.
Claudia Howard, 17 burpees. Karis Kennedy, 18. Starla Smith,
Running.
16.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, down. Up. Beginners, march it. Okay? 8 and 8. Guys, it's your workout, okay? I don't care what anyone else is doing. This is you. And you are over halfway. Come on! Let's go. Beginners, you march it. Otherwise, this is rough. way, guys, new outfit. I think you've already seen it once, but let me know out of 10 how you're feeling in terms of your energy. Okay, how hard was that? 10 being the hardest you've ever done. Okay, 0, nothing. And remember, it really doesn't matter what anyone else is doing, okay? This is about you. Okay, we're going 15 seconds. Next up is abs. We're gonna annihilate them, okay? We are going in. And don't forget, after this we have a nutrition Q&A. Okay, starting off in sitting, spread those butt cheeks, roll back, pull the core in tight. We're just gonna find the right form, and we're gonna find the beat. Okay, beginners, here if you want. Just enjoy the song, okay? In 8, 7, 6. Follow me. We clap. Go. 1,500. Oh my gosh, I love you guys. Go. Pop. 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 Lower. Lower. 10 seconds. Yes, guys. 5.
Laura Harris in 8.
8.
Lucy
Nice.
Mays in 8. Olivia Delta is 7. Celia Hamilton is a 6.
Woo! I love this song. Okay, rolling back again, guys. Beginners, you're here. Intermediate, advanced, come here. Super advanced, you're here. And I really want you to feel that burn, okay? We're going to speed the movement up, crunching in and back with our hands. Foot flex. 1, 2. Guys, I want your core burning by the end of today. And I want you dripping with sweat. Okay, by the end of this, we're halfway. So everything you've got, rotate. 1, 2. Obliques, working into the waist. 12 seconds. Come on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, straight onto the other side. Beginners, hands behind you. You simply crunch like so, okay? It's fine, go at your level. Spread those butt cheeks. Roll back and hold. 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 Wait for the beat drop. And then we're going to be naked, okay? Pull the core in. Beginners, you're here. Lift and lower. In 4, 3, 2, let's go. 8 left. 8. Obliques. Rotate. Woo! Oh yes. Push it. Come on, I want you burning. 5. And down. Woo! Guys, I really want to work into these abs now, okay? So hands in a diamond shape. We're going for the reverse crunch. As we come out of the reverse crunch, we open close for 4. Let's go. Okay, beginners, you just come here. Everyone else, open close. Guys, you are smashing it. Pull those stomach muscles in nice and tight. Come on. Keep pushing for me. Beginners, you're here. Everyone else, straighten out. Good work. We're actually staying with the hands underneath the lower back. We're going to flutter kick for 8, then heel tap for 8. Beginners, legs are up nice and high. And if you've got tight hamstrings, I'll show you another variation. Everyone else, legs are down here. Flutter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Tap. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Flutter. Beginners, you're up here. If you're really struggling with tight hamstrings, just drop one leg down, followed by the other. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, shin, keep the lower back flat. Beginners, single leg. I'm going to show you now. Everyone else, so it's 1, 2, 1, 2. Beginners, we're here. Okay, flex, straighten. Slow and controlled for my beginners. Or if you've got back pain, control it. Everyone else, we're here. Eye gaze forwards. Now slow it down. 1, 2, 1, 2. When I say sprint, sprint. Beginners, change sides. 4, 3, 2, sprint. Come on, guys, all the way. Woo! Exactly the same thing, but for bicycles. Should be feeling that, okay? So with bicycles, we're coming across the body to hit the obliques. Half the pace, double the pace, sprint. Beginners, you are here. Okay? 2, 1, 2. Sprint! Beginners, we're here. Nice and fast, guys. Slow it down if you want to, beginners. 3, 2, slow it down. 1, 2, 1. Beginners, change sides. 3, 2, double the pace, go! 3. And, oh yeah, right? Oh yeah. Okay, slowing it down a little bit, we now have a set of scissors. You've got 2 levels, slightly easier here. Okay, tapping down, up, down. Let's get started with that. Lower back flat. 4, 3, 2. Okay, make it harder by straightening the legs. 1, 2 rounds, okay? Roll back, hold. Just hold there. Beginners, you're here. Otherwise, you're here. 3, 4, 3, 2, legs up. Hold. 4, 3, beginners here if you want. Russian twist. 1, 2. They want to make it harder, straighten the opposite leg. Power, guys, 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. That is another circuit down. I personally think there's room for growth in that, but let me know. How are you feeling out of 10? Super important, you're honest with me, guys. And as you beginners know, this is a starting point, okay? I'm so freaking proud of you for being here. You are killing it. Okay, 15-second countdown, then we're gonna go in yet again on fat burn. Just to warn you guys, this one's worse, okay? So this is gonna be harder than the first round, but I know you've got this. 15 seconds is on. How are they getting on to it?
Yeah, everyone's dying.
Great. 10-second countdown. Okay, we're actually starting off with froggers, one of my favorites. In a plank position, you're jumping forward and back. Let's go. Beginners, step those legs. Pace yourselves, guys. Good work. Come on, all the way. You want the chest open. Super important. Jumping it if you can and keeping the core nice and You've got 20 seconds left.
En el mismo baile, pero otro ser. Estabas más buena que me estremece.
10 seconds. Con la boca. Good work, guys. Back of your mats. Jumping forward, Alex.
Olivia Saltars an 8.
Great.
Alicia Miles a 9.
Great.
Anja Milik a 7.
I feel like I took-
an 8.
I feel like I took too much pre-workout. Jumping forward, guys. Fast feet back. Let's go. Okay, if you want to, step at your own pace. This is you, okay? Beginners, you're here. Everyone else, freaking faster. I'm talking to you, okay? I want everything. Nice and fast. Guys, finish this workout knowing you've given me everything. 10 seconds. Come on. Good work. Back to those fast feet. This time when I clap, you're doing a half burpee. Beginners, you're doing a squat, okay? So that was this one. When I clap, if you can, straight back up, okay? Nice and fast. Let's go. Beginner squat. Beginners. Hit. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Guys, it's literally drop up. Like you got springs on the floor. Come on. Come on! Woo! Halfway. Push it. Faster, 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 faster. Come on, guys. 15 seconds. Come on! 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. How are those legs feeling? Okay, we now have ski jumps, side to side. You have a split second hold, okay? If you want to, you step it. We've actually got a really nice beat here, okay? Let's go. Beginners is to the beat. Everyone else, as fast as and controlled as you can. Beginners here. Good. Everyone else, you're jumping. And you're jumping fast. You want to come low? Come on, guys. Freaking push it. Come on. Woo! Yes, squad. 10 seconds. Push it. Push it. Jump it if you can. And done. Jump or step lunges. It's up to you. If you're advanced intermediate, I want you jumping. Beginners, you're here. Advanced intermediate, you're here. Okay? If I can do that with no ACL, you guys can smash that. Beginners, you're here. Come on. Come on! Jumping if you can, guys. Nice and low through that hip joint. Halfway. Guys, if you're jumping it and you're thinking about stopping, I'm literally going to come and grab you and force you to keep going, okay? Come on. It's only 12 seconds. Come on. 5. Good work. Down on the mat, burpees. I'm going to give you a split second hold to prep, guys. Tira, are we okay holding the timer? Guys, we're going to be going in 15 seconds and I want you to count your reps. This is number 2, okay? I'm going to keep you going the whole time. Going in 10 seconds, lying on your tummies, counting your reps. Beginners, you're here. Let's go! Count your reps. Guys, this is you against you. It doesn't matter what pace everyone else is going. How was that? Jump or step curtsy. Same as before. I love this one for sculpting hips and fat burning. That's why we're doing it. Let's go. Beginners, here. Come on, it's you at your own maximum pace. Guys, we literally have a few exercises left. So don't give up, okay? Beginners, you're here. Yes. Drop, drop. Good, if you can. Killing it. In, out, up. Jumping. Narrow squat, wide squat, up. 1, 2, 3. Beginners, follow me. Let's go. Beginners. Go back. Come on. In, out, up. Otherwise. Come on, guys. Beginners, you're here. Come on! Killing it! 15 seconds! Yes, squad! Woo! Nice and low. 5! Last one, down on the mat. We're going for another set of burpees. Slight hold. I always give you an extra rest before a burpee, okay? I want frickin' everything, okay? Literally everything. We're going in 10 seconds. Count your reps. I'm gonna start you off for 15, but I really want you going at your own pace. Begin to step them. Everyone else, we're here. Let's go.
I'm still breathing, it's not easy. I'm just a fool for you.
Guys, 15 seconds down. Come on! Come on! Coming up to halfway squad. Come on! Halfway! For you. Woo! Coming into that home straight, guys. I want 3 more. 8, 6, 4, 3, 1 more. And lie down. Woo! How are we feeling out of 10? Quickly let me know. You're onto your last circuit, okay? I'm actually gonna have a little bit more pre-workout for this last circuit. And I know you probably hate me for that. Okay, let me know, squad. Out of 10, how are you, okay? We have 9 minutes. This is gonna be the hardest 9 minutes of core and fat burn you've ever done with me. Guaranteed, okay? Beginners, always follow me. I'm giving you a mod. 15 seconds, okay? We got this, guys. We're starting off with toe reaches. I want you all the way down. I want the legs up to the sky. And we're reaching. When I say half pace slower, when I say full pace faster, beginners, you're here. Find that beat.
It's not easy.
Reach.
I'm just a fool
Otherwise, we're here.
I'm just a fool.
Good. Keep going. Reach. It's gonna drop. When it drops, double the pace. Beginners, keep going. That pace. Go. Reach. 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 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going with the hundreds. We're going with a single leg stretch. So we're here, as we pump, we straighten back in. Beginners, you're here, support the head. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Find that beat. We start off with normal hundreds until we feel the beat. Let's go. 1, 2.
Don't just what you want. You're the one to trust. And I always be
Beginners, the legs are down. When you're just tucking the arms in. 4, 3, double the pace. Get back, guys. Keep pushing. 10 seconds. Now straighten the legs. Core tight. And 1, lower. Okay, I want the legs long across the mat. As we go with a full sit-up, we're going to reach to the ankle and back down. This is hard. Beginners, I want you here. Okay? Otherwise, legs are here. Come on, we got this. Reach, lower. Hold at the top. Tuck it. 4, 3, 2, change legs. Let's go. 8,
deep into your heart.
4, 3, 2, and 1. Ooh, how's that core feeling? Okay guys, we are going with bicycles. On the 7th bicycle we hold. It's a really nice strong beat here, okay? Beginners, I want you here. Everyone else. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and hold. Okay, let's go. And hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and hold. 7, and hold. 7, and hold. When the beat drops, we spread. Guys, faster. 10 seconds. Come on. All the way. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 4, 3, and 1. Ooh. Quickly on up for me, guys. Okay, 2 planks. Then we're back into fat burn. Okay, you guys know this is one of my favorites. Just about healed. We're coming down to forearms. Hip dip, dip, up, forward, back. Beginners, on the knees. Good work. Dip, hold. Dip, hold. Dip, hold. Everyone else, you're up. Dip, up, seesaw. Dip, up, seesaw. Come on, we're nearly there. 12 seconds. Push it. Core tight. 3, 2, 1, and down. Militaries, guys. If you're a beginner, you're down on your knees, forearms, and up. Horrible. Absolutely horrible. Going in 3 seconds. Let's go. 1, 2, beginners here. Try to alternate the arms you lead with, okay? So you go right first, then left. Okay? On your knees, beginners. Everyone else put up. Find that beat. One time. 20 seconds. 50. Olympic mountain climbers, okay? So you jump them if you can, you run them if you can. Beginners, you step them. 8 and 8. Okay? Guys, it's literally you. Your own timing. Okay? Regardless of what level you're at, push it. Running them if you can, jumping them if you can. 20 seconds. 10 seconds. Good. 5 seconds. Sorry, I just wanted to finish that off. Okay, back up. We're back into our jump jacks with our punches. 8 and 8, guys, okay? 1, let's go. Beginners, stepping. Otherwise you're jumping. Come on, guys. 6, 5, 4. 20 seconds. Faster. 10 seconds. 8, 7, 2, and 1. No break. Down on the mat. Burpees, guys. It's your last exercise. You're going in 7 seconds. Beginners, you know what you're doing. Advanced, you know what you're doing. I'll start you off. Let's go. Whoops.
These rings on my face, looking like I'm from the deep. These no Cartiers, pockets
Guys,
deep,
it's you against you. Come on.
Do you and do me, bro? Making noise is a beat, bro.
30 seconds left. Come on. Let's go. Halfway. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Guys, 15 seconds left. Come on, push it. I'll finish you off. Let's try and get full. Let's go. 10 seconds. 5 seconds.
Okay, thought I never made it like no way. I'm the real thing, no go play.
Yes. Down onto the mat. Breathe. Okay. Take a second to let me know out of 10 how you're feeling. Do 10-10, 9-10. Then let me know how many burpees you got. 20 burpees, 10 burpees, whatever it was. Guys, next up is a nutrition Q&A, okay? So while we're doing the nutrition Q&A, please do some stretches, okay? I'm gonna be grabbing my dinner to do the stretches. And if you, well, to do the Q&A, I should say. If you haven't already, please do smash the thumbs up button. Literally come out of the live chat, smash thumbs up, then you can come back into the live chat. It is so easy. Okay, who's ready for the nutrition Q&A? I am so excited about this, guys, because it is with Alan Kenny, who is an expert in the field, okay? He's an expert in the field of nutrition, specifically with sport, and he works with Optimum Nutrition, who are the most incredible nutrition supplement company in the world. They're world renowned. Okay, that was hardcore, right? And for those of you who have asked about the thumbnail which was in this, not this thumbnail, but one previously, this outfit is Gymshark. And I love it. You'll notice I often wear Gymshark, well, I do full stop, but also for cardio, just because it's so like jiggle proof, if you know what I mean. It holds you in the perfect way and it sculpts. All right, are we ready? Did we get any numbers through, Alex?
We got Anna Ponky is a 9.5. Berry Dummy is a 10. She's dying, she says. Anna Martin says 10 out of 10.
Awesome.
Amelia Goldsmith says 18 burpees, my PB.
Freaking amazing.
Celia's a 9.
Guys.
Dragoni is a 10.
Yes. You killed it. Right, let's get stuck in with nutrition now. So the first question, so just to let you guys know how this is going to happen. we basically asked for your questions on my Instagram, which was about 3 days ago now, and then we picked the most common questions. Before we jump into this, have we kept numbers of people? I know probably we go down to about half normally, so I'm hoping people are still...
1,400 people.
What? You guys are amazing. Oh my gosh. So we've got another live tomorrow and Wednesday. Tomorrow is hamstrings and booty and thighs. So we're sculpting and toning into lean legs. So we're not necessarily like massively building, which we'll be touching on in nutrition. And then the following day is a new workout. So you can find all of this on my Instagram. So make sure you check it out, Lily Sabri. The first question actually today, so we were asking the most common 10 questions. Was a really interesting one because so many of you asked it, and it was basically what foods you should be eating to burn fat. So I'm going to repeat that. It was what foods you should be eating to burn fat, and it was asked so many times, and I'm going to now give you Alan. So Alan's going to answer all of these questions, then I'm going to come back and give my thoughts on it as well. So for the next minute and a half, you've got Alan's explanation on that, and I'm hoping that's going to come up now.
This is a really interesting question that asked, what food should we eat before a workout to ensure that we burn fat during that workout and not carbs? And it's interesting because it's not necessarily the food that we eat that dictates the fuel source. It's more to do with the actual exercise. So low intensity exercise like walking or a slow jog or some form of endurance exercise will tend to use the aerobic system, which depends on fat as a fuel source a lot more, whereas if you were doing more high intensity exercise like HIIT workouts or lifting weights or jumping or sprinting or playing sports, they're going to be glycogen dependent, so they're going to be carb based sports predominantly. So it's not necessarily about the food that we eat that determines that, it's more to do with the exercise. Now if you have someone that eats a really high fat diet, like a keto diet for example, they will become better at oxidizing fat and using fat as a fuel source, and they can become fat adapted and they'll be better at using fat as a fuel. And someone that eats more carbohydrates will tend to be better at utilizing that fuel, but it's still going to come down to the type of activity that chooses which fuel source you're going to use, more so than the foods you eat pre or post exercise.
So guys, I think that was super, super interesting, and I put that question first. Please, yeah, like magic, we just changed position. So excuse the sweatiness, we're all in this together, we all just sweat together, we're keeping it real. But yeah, I thought that was really, really interesting because there's a lot of like misconceptions around, is it just food that's gonna help you lose fat? Is it really 80%, 20%, you know, is the types of food we're eating going to help us to burn fat, or is it a case of calories in, calories out? So I really hope that helped. Throughout this, I want you guys to keep kind of commenting and let me know what your thoughts are, because you know it's super, super important that this is conversational. The next question I think is really interesting, particularly because it applies to me. So for those of you who don't know, I gave up meat about 15 years ago. I was young, I stopped eating meat, so did my brother, and we became pretty much vegan. And at that time, veganism was, of course it was a thing, but it certainly wasn't a mainstream thing. And my parents really struggled with what to give us, particularly because we weren't really eating dairy as well. I then converted over to vegetarian, and now I'm pescatarian. So I haven't eaten meat in like 15 years. And this question came up a lot. Before I ask it, could you quickly just let me know what you are? Are you a meat eater? Are you pescatarian? Are you vegan, or are you vegetarian? Just type it in because I'll find this really, really interesting. But this question was, do vegetarians/vegans need to have protein supplementation? So do you need to have protein shakes or any form of supplement to get enough protein? So we're gonna head over to Alan again, expert. He's gonna give you his opinion. Let's go. Feels like a game show.
The question here is if vegetarians and vegans need to supplement with a protein product. And in short, the answer is no. At Optimum Nutrition, we operate a food first policy. So ideally, we hit all of our targets each day from food ideally first, and then we use products to supplement that diet and maybe further enhance our protein intake each day. The reason why protein products are so popular is out of convenience, and they're an easy way to have an increased protein intake each day, which is valuable in our pursuit of increased muscle mass and recovery from training. So the other consideration for vegans and vegetarians with a protein product is that often some of the protein sources that you may use come at an additional cost to get an amount of protein. So if you were to get 20 grams of protein from chickpeas, that will cost you about 450 calories that day, because there's going to be additional carbohydrates in that product, whereas an Optimum Nutrition plant protein powder will give you 24 grams of protein per serving, and that will only be about 145 calories. So that's the other consideration for vegetarians and vegans, is that often the protein sources you use from a food standpoint may have additional calories and carbohydrates. So it's not necessary for everyone to go out and get a protein supplement. It's just an easier way to ensure that you hit your daily protein target. It's convenient so that you can take protein post-workout to kickstart your recovery, and it is it's just an additional tool to help you on your way. But it's not essential. You can get enough protein from food ideally, but if you want to take a protein powder, it's not going to do you any harm either.
Okay, sorry, I keep looking at my phone because I'm basically seeing your questions come in and your comments. Someone, and I'm struggling to find, Rena Rowett wrote eggetarian. So I don't know if you mean vegetarian, or is this a thing I don't know of? I really shouldn't be laughing in case it is a thing, but does that mean you eat a lot of eggs or you don't eat eggs? I don't know. Let me know. That may have been a typo. But super interesting. There's so many of you who are actually vegetarian, vegan. There's also a lot of pescatarians, and there are meat eaters. There's everything, everyone, which I think is great. One of you asked about pre-workout before we go on to the next question. This is what I use. You'll see it with me every single cardio hit, just because it literally gets my energy levels through the roof. And that's why you have such a hardcore workout with me, because I'm like a little Energizer bunny. This one is in pink lemonade, and it is Optimum Nutrition. I don't take it before every single workout. I don't take it before my Pilates sessions. I take it before every single hit and cardio and most weight sessions as well. So I thought I'd let you know about that. Okay, next up, next question, again, so frequently asked, like so frequently, and it's all around calorie deficit, but also being able to build muscle. So kind of the variations of questions that were coming in was, okay, I'm trying to burn fat, but I'm also trying to build muscle. Can I do both of them at the same time? Or do I have to go with the cutting, bulking, cutting? How do we address that? So basically, can you build muscle when you're in calorie deficit? And for those of you who don't know what calorie deficit is, even though you were just taught by Alan, calorie deficit is when you're burning more calories than you're consuming. So you're burning more calories through exercise than you're taking in through food. Okay, over to Alan again.
The question here asks if we can build muscle in a calorie deficit. So if we are in a calorie deficit or in a continuous calorie deficit, we will lose weight, and that weight can be muscle and it can be fat, which will be determined by your exercise activity along with your diet. So if we exercise and we consume adequate protein, we should be able to preserve our lean mass, and then ideally we're losing fat and not lean muscle mass. So there's lots of different ways that we can check that to ensure that that's the right thing. So if we're in a calorie deficit, we're going to lose weight, and we're not going to be able to build muscle in a deficit. So what we want to do is have periods of time where we're in deficit and focus on losing fat, and then other periods of time where we're in a surplus, which would then mean that we're consuming more energy than we're expending, and that will lead to an increase in weight, which could be muscle ideally, or sometimes it can be fat. And those two periods are often interchangeable, and you'll hear people refer to them as cutting and bulking. So people will try and cut some weight and maintain their muscle, and then when people are bulking up, they're going to try and build some muscle. So they're very hard to do both interchangeably without being really controlled with it. So the aim in a calorie deficit ideally should be to preserve the muscle mass that you do have, and often that makes it look like you've gained muscle, because you will lose some fat and your muscles will appear more prominent.
So guys, a lot of more questions are coming through, so we're going to try and answer as many of them as possible. But the questions that are coming through are actually leading into the next question that was really, really frequently asked, and that was how much protein do you need a day to build muscle? So basically Alan just touched on the fact that you can be in calorie surplus to put on weight, but are you putting on lean muscle or are you putting on fat? So this is talking about protein and how much you need specifically, because we're all different shapes and sizes, we're all different body types, we all do different types of training, but how much protein on average do we need for our size, our shape, our frame? And Alan's going to tell you that. Over to Alan in the studio.
This question asks how much protein is needed each day to build muscle mass. And this is something that we love talking about because protein is such a big factor in terms of building muscle mass, and we associate it with muscle, but it does a lot more than that. And protein is going to be involved in other functions in the body, such as our immune function, and it's going to go a long way towards building muscle, maintaining muscle, suppressing our appetite even post feed. So it's lots of different uses and a really good tool to have in any kind of fat loss program. So where we usually recommend people for building muscle mass is somewhere in the range of 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilogram of body weight per day. So an easier way of remembering it is 1.5 times your body weight, which is a little bit extra. So if you weigh 60 kilograms, then ideally you would take somewhere between 96 to 132 grams of protein each day. Now, ideally for best results and maximum protein synthesis, we would have you split that intake out evenly over the day. So an evenly distributed protein intake throughout the day is going to have a slightly better impact than the more traditional intake of, or the more traditional skewed intake where people tend to eat most protein in the evening meal, say, and may skip it at breakfast. So I would encourage people to eat protein at every meal. So that person that weighs 60 kilos, if they're really focused on their training and they're trying to build muscle mass, if they can get to double their body weight in grams of protein a day, that would be 120 grams of protein a day. So then that could be 4 meals with 30 grams of protein per serving. And then that's a nice even spread throughout the day. It's going to ensure that you have enough protein to recover with what you're throwing at your body in terms of training, and have protein left over essentially to go towards building muscle mass and maintaining muscle mass and ensuring optimal recovery. So they're the kind of recommendations we'd usually recommend. And yes, I would encourage people to eat protein at every meal if possible.
Okay, so I'm just going to quickly recap on one of those things, which was the basic calculation of how you work out how many grams of protein you should be having per your body weight, so per your size. And I hate to use weight as a measurement. You guys already know that, like I literally freaking hate the scales. But I'm willing to tell you guys this, like I actually don't know because I haven't weighed myself in a very, very, very long time, but I can guess. So when I injured myself, which was a dreadful injury, Alex, 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, don't even know, year and a half ago, I lost a lot of weight. And the reason why I lost a lot of weight is because my muscle literally like dropped off. Like hands held tight, I did not look good. Like I was a bit like a skeleton, mainly in my legs, like it just dropped off. And I knew that I needed a lot of protein to rebuild the muscle. But at that point, my weight had gone really low. Now, a lot of you are constantly messaging me like, I'm trying to lose weight, I'm trying to lose, you know, as many kg as I can. I weigh probably a lot more than you guys think. Alex, would you quickly Google how much 10.5 stone is and how much 11 stone is? So I think I'm between 10.5 stone and 11 stone, which is how many kg? We're about to find out. One of you might know.
60 to 70 kg.
Gosh, that's a vast range.
Sorry, 65 to 70 kg.
Okay, so I'm 65 to 70 kg. I don't know how much. So a lot of you might probably think that's quite a lot. And honestly, I don't care what I weigh, because I go by my size, how I fit my jeans, how I fit my leggings, depending on how stretchy they are. But I go on how I look, how I feel. So yeah, for weight, I just wanted to touch on that. Please don't always use it as a measure. Please don't always use it as a marker of your progress. Because remember, as you're building muscle, lean muscle, that weighs more than fat. And I have quite a lot of muscle in my body now, so that's heavier than fat. So please don't care about the scales. But if you are trying to work out how much protein you need, which by the way, I never measure, which is another thing to talk about in the future, particularly around like you know, living your life with a good relationship with food, which I'm so passionate about. But if you are wanting to measure to get an idea, which I never do, if you are wanting to measure, you're going with 1.5 times your body weight. So if you weigh 60 kilograms, you want to times that by 1.5 to get how many grams of protein you're aiming to consume. I really hope that makes sense, guys. I wanted to jump in about the like, try not to weigh yourself. Everyone's different. Some people love like really measuring their food, and it has its place, right? Like it really has its place. If you are holding excess fat, if you are obese and you know, or clinically obese or have diabetes and you know that you need to lose weight, of course measuring can be good. But for a lot of you who I know are in my private Facebook group who have been on this fitness journey for a little while, you don't necessarily need to lose weight anymore. Okay, you're looking to build muscle, so try not to always use the scales as a marker. And I really do feel passionate about that. And you know, intuitive eating is something else that I really want to talk to you guys about in the future. Just enjoying your relationship with food. But we're going to go on to the next question now. I'm finding Alan fascinating. Like, he's so knowledgeable, it's insane. All right, so actually this works really, really well. So what are his thoughts professionally on intermittent fasting? Before he jumps in, I've never done intermittent fasting. Alex's brother used to live with us and he is the biggest fan of intermittent fasting. I just don't think I could do it, being totally honest. I eat like 8 to 10 times a day, but let's see what the professional has to say. Okay, so what is Alan's thoughts on intermittent fasting? Let's go.
The question here is around intermittent fasting and if fasting is the optimal way to lose weight. And this is something that comes up a lot these days. Intermittent fasting seems to be a very popular diet of choice at the moment. And it's fine and it works for some people, but it's not a miracle worker by any means. So if someone intermittent fast, essentially they have structured periods of eating and structured periods of non-eating. So a most commonly used protocol would be a 16-8 split. So people would fast for 16 hours out of a 24-hour period and then have an 8-hour eating window. And usually people might do that from like midday to 8 p.m. Now, the reason why people lose weight when they're intermittent fast is because they've created a calorie deficit. Now, you could have created that calorie deficit in a different way, just by tracking your calories and monitoring your intake, and the results would be the same. The reason why intermittent fasting is popular and works for some people is because you just tend to eat less food in a shorter period of time, and people can usually skip that breakfast meal and make it to lunch, and then they just tend to eat less calories. So it can suit certain people and it can suit their schedule and they can have some success with it. But the success they have in terms of fat loss is because of the calorie deficit they created. It's not because they fasted. And the intermittent fasting has caused the calorie deficit, which has caused fat loss.
Okay, so really interesting, because a lot of the girls who I recognize from the private Facebook group and YouTube actually do intermittent fasting. So Olia, Tamara, you're both like really big fans of intermittent fasting. That's really hard to say fast. Try and say it fast right now. Intermittent fasting. Whew, that's tough. Okay, digressing. But yeah, a lot of you seem to be big fans of intermittent fasting. Who said that? Okay, Mal, I guess you're replying to one of the other girls. 800 calories are way too little. Guys, if any of you are going on 800 calories, please know that is way too low. Like way too low. So I might have missed that, but honestly, if you are thinking that 800 calories is enough, like DM me, because I want to help you, because that is just like, I have a responsibility to look after you girls, and guys, and that is just way too low. Okay, right. Maybe I should try intermittent fasting. I don't think I'd enjoy it. Alex, let's pull you in on this conversation. Would I be good with intermittent fasting?
No, you eat about 8 times a day.
I'm not.
Little and often.
Little and often. I'm like a bird. I need my energy level to stay up here rather than high-low. That's why I love carbohydrates. And speaking of which, we're about to chat about carbohydrates. So Very interesting. A lot of misconceptions, particularly in the press. For those of you who have been following me for a while and who watch kind of what I eat every day on my Instagram stories and the recipes I have on my website and have my cookbook, you all know I'm a huge fan of carbohydrates. Now, I speak a lot about this in my vlogs, particularly my food vlogs, my food challenge vlogs. There's no such thing as right. I need to get out of the habit of saying that. But certain carbohydrates are better for you than others, right? So the processed carbohydrates obviously aren't as good. They're not gonna be as good. They have added sugar. So I'm talking like your white breads, even white rice isn't as good, but pasta. So I just try and replace them with brown rice, with brown bread, multigrain bread, potatoes. Really, really good for you guys and really important. So that is another common question. And I'm interested to see what Alan's response is because I haven't watched this yet. What's his thoughts on a super low carbohydrate approach? Why would you do it? And what are the benefits or not benefits? What's his thoughts? So let's go.
The question here is around carbohydrates and fat loss. And the person here has asked if they cut out carbs altogether and have like a super low carbohydrate diet, will that lead to more fat loss? And there's two strands to this, I guess. A ketogenic diet has become popular in the last few years, and that's a super low carb, high fat diet. And lots of people follow that diet, and a lower carb diet in general is something that has become a little bit more mainstream as well. And the issue here is a lot of people follow these diets, say, without doing the research beforehand or a little bit aimlessly, and they might see that somebody else had some success with that previously. And it doesn't mean that it's going to work for that person, or it might be suitable for the demands that they face. So if we look at the majority of people tend to do higher intensity exercise, and for your average person that might go to the gym and do some HIIT workouts, or go to the gym, run, sprint, jump, do HIIT workouts, those are all glycogen dependent activities, and we replenish and fill our glycogen stores from eating carbohydrates. So we're going to be not at our max potential doing those activities if we're on a really, really low carbohydrate diet. And we can also affect our recovery from that diet as well. So you can benefit from periods of lower carbohydrate intake, and that's a thing called carb cycling, and that's something that we'll use with a lot of clients. But I wouldn't necessarily tell someone to go like, oh yeah, just go super low carb or cut carbs out altogether. So a real world application of that might be a footballer, for example, who when he's playing football and training and running around the soccer pitch is going to be burning lots and lots of energy. So he's going to be eating super high carbohydrate intake. Whereas right now when football season is over or on non-training days, they could have a lower or reduced carbohydrate intake. And you can utilize that in your own training and day-to-day life. So if you train 4 days a week, you might have a higher carbohydrate intake on those days than your non-training days. But we need carbohydrates to fuel performance and fuel good activity. So I would encourage people to include carbohydrates in their diet for sure, particularly around the pre and post training and performance times to get maximum benefits of your workouts.
Wow, girls, so I keep saying girls, I'm so sorry, there's some guys in here as well. Your comments back and forth to each other are like phenomenal. The support is insane. Like you're giving each other your Instagram handles to help each other. Like the one thing, and I know I'm kind of going off nutrition here, but it's related to nutrition. You are not alone. Like we're in this together and it's a journey, right? It's so a journey. It's not a final destination. This is a journey, and we need to keep remembering that that journey isn't measured by a number. Okay, it should be measured by how you're feeling. And honestly, like out of all the times that we should be knowing what our goal is or what we really want, like one thing that my granny said to me from childhood, and my granny just passed away for those of you who don't know, and she's Irish, is your health is your wealth. And it might be an Irish saying, I don't even know if it's an Irish saying, but it's so true. Like if you don't have your health, what do you have, right? Like what do you have? So this is about your health. This isn't about a number. This is about enjoying the journey of feeling great, like feeling amazing. And you can feel amazing through eating healthy foods that are for your soul, to make you feel happy, to make you feel healthy, by working out to release the endorphins. This is way more than just how we look. Okay, and how we look, yes, of course you can get reward from that, but it's also how you feel. So seeing all these comments that come through to each other, you know, girls who are suffering from eating disorders or who have suffered from eating disorders and triggers, please come over to our private Facebook group if you're not already. The support network there is unbelievable. Please let me know right now. Just say yes if you're already in my private Facebook group, and say no if you're not. And the link is in the description to this video, but join. It's so supportive and it's a safe place to talk about these things. But yeah, amazing, like absolutely amazing. Actually, this kind of links really nicely, sorry, jumping phone to phone, to the next question, which is about sustainable weight loss. So for those of you who have been on a journey with weight loss, or just a fitness journey full stop, you'll often find that it yo-yos, right? So you go from like feeling on top of the world, and yes, you've lost loads of weight, but you've restricted yourself and you've had to like almost punish yourself, and then suddenly you kind of let go and you fall back to where you were before in terms of numbers on the scale and how you're feeling. And then suddenly you take on a new diet and a new challenge, and it yo-yos up and down and up and down and up and down. How can we be sustainable with this? How can we get results that are going to make us feel good and last? Honestly, to give you my opinion, is to not be restrictive. It makes me so sad when I'm out with friends or friends of friends and they're like, oh no, I'm not going to eat any carbs tonight, I'm on a no carb diet. Like, that's not the way forward. It's really not the way forward. Replacing is amazing, and if you haven't already watched some of my vlogs, please do watch my vlogs. There's so much information in there, but it's not like in a boring way. It's trials and like challenges, but replacing things rather than retracting or subtracting, I should say. So what is Alan's thoughts on how to get sustainable weight loss and how to prevent yo-yoing? Let's go.
So this is a double answer really, and the question was about, one was about losing weight fast, and then the other question was about how can we lose weight in a sustainable way so that we don't have that rebound after losing the weight, where people tend to gain weight quite quickly after a period of dieting. And really what we're talking about here is a sustainable approach, so an approach that you can adhere to over a long period of time. So ideally, how that looks in real life is the way that you are eating to create a calorie deficit is not so strict or so unenjoyable that you don't think that you can keep it up beyond a certain specific period of time. So the people that might do a 30-day program and be really, really strict, but then go and have 2 weeks totally off, like totally opposite of that way of eating, and gain some of that weight back on. And that's not what we want to do. So when we're talking about sustainable weight loss, ideally slower is better. And the quicker we lose weight, the quicker we can gain it back, but also we're more likely to lose muscle mass if we drop weight quite quickly. Similarly, if we gain, it has the opposite effect. So a sustainable weight loss, maybe about 1 kilo a week, so 1 to 2 pounds per week, and you can track that using a weighing scale. And the way that you keep it off is to maintain that calorie deficit, and keep your calories then. If you hit a weight that you want to stay at, you can increase your calories to a maintenance level, but ensure that they don't go way back up and put you back in a surplus, which will lead to that weight gain again.
Yeah. Okay, so next question. I've got the biggest smile on my face because I posted this on my Instagram earlier, like what questions we were going to be answering. And this got so many like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for number 8. I cannot wait for number 8. So this is number 8 of 10. And I'm smiling so much because I just think it just applies to us. So it was basically how to get, I wrote viable abs. We missed out the S. Visible abs. How to get visible abs and lose stubborn belly fat, stomach fat. So we're gonna get Alan's professional opinion. Then I'm gonna jump in afterwards and basically tell you what I've learned from training hundreds of thousands of you girls, because we are getting unbelievable results right now. I feel like if there's one thing I'm known for, let's say the top 3 things that I'm known for with the training that I do with you girls, I would say abs is the first one. I would say waist is the second, so building an hourglass frame. And the third one is fat fat burn, cardio, etc, etc. So I'd really love to get Alan's opinion on this, and then I'm going to give you my 2 cents on what I think works for you ladies and the hundreds of thousands of women that I've worked with, and men. Okay, let's go over to the studio.
So we have lots of questions coming through asking about how to have abs or visible abs, and how to get rid of stubborn belly fat. And unfortunately, we can't spot reduce fat, so we can't choose a location and say, right, I want to lose fat there. Now, what we can do, we can aim to develop the muscle in that area. So if somebody is focused on doing lots of leg weights, for example, while they're in the process of losing fat, if they're focused on developing those muscles may appear larger or appear more like leaner. But we can't necessarily say I'm going to lose fat on my legs. We can't spot reduce fat. And unfortunately, we kind of have genetics at play as well. And men tend to have more fat around their waist, and females tend to have more around their hip region. So in that process of losing fat, we lose it from our entire body, but that may be the kind of last area. So I would aim to just continue to be in a calorie deficit, continue to eat adequate protein, continue to work out and exercise. You can do additional work on that area, which may be beneficial, but we cannot spot reduce body fat, unfortunately.
From Mr. Alan, expert. Calorie deficit, adequate protein, fat burning exercise, cardio, exercise full stop, right? So for those of you who have watched my vlogs, what do I always say? We cannot spot reduce fat. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Lily, in your thumbnails, you're saying, do this for belly fat, da 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 da. So I wanna like clear this up and give you my 100% honest opinion. You cannot spot reduce fat, unfortunately. Our genetics, our anatomical makeup, our genetics are going to determine where we store our fat. And like Alan was saying, guys will store it sometimes more around their stomach, but also certain people will have more visceral fat, which is the damaging fat around their vital organs. Women, particularly Mediterranean women, it's been found in studies, but women tend to store more fat around their hips and their thigh area. Now, that is a general rule of thumb. Every single person is different. But one thing we do know is when you're doing exercise, you cannot choose where you're gonna burn the fat from. You can't say, okay, I'm gonna take this right here and I'm gonna put that right there. We can't do it. However, you can burn fat in your entire body, number one, by being in calorie deficit. How do you get in calorie deficit? You burn more calories than you're consuming. Now, please, 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 please do not think that means you need to majorly cut down on your calories. You do not. Up your exercise. I got it all there for you free on YouTube. So exercise, calorie deficit, can't spot reduce fat. Number two, you can work the muscles. You can work the specific muscle region that you are wanting to build, tone, build lean muscle, whatever you want to call it. Like the press calls it different things. Why do I put it on my YouTube thumbnails? Honestly, if you're to read the description I write in there, I will always say you have to remember you can't spot reduce fat, but you can couple this with my cardio fat burn workouts, you can couple it with my HIIT workouts, you can couple it with any of my workouts to help you get in calorie deficit basically. Now, I found from you girls and from myself, by working your core muscles correctly, you can help tone, whatever word you want to call it, tone, build lean muscle, that area. I honestly think the core muscles are the most underrated muscle group on the planet. Like, I really do. And I'm gonna say this, screaming it from the rooftops, the booty, the glutes is so freaking popular right now. And yes, a big perky butt is amazing, yeah? But please, I don't know why I'm telling you girls this, because you already know it, because you do my workouts, but do not forget about the core. And I think so many people are like, oh, I'm gonna train butt again, I'm gonna train legs again, and I'm just gonna do 100 sit-ups at the end of my workout. Like, core is way more than that. And we really know that, because you guys do my workouts. We work into all 4 layers of the core, we work around the sides, we work into the obliques. So what am I getting at? I'm getting at you need to be doing your fat burning exercises. I call it fat burn because you're burning more in those certain types of workouts, HIIT, cardio, whatever you want to call it. You want to be doing your weights as well, because that's going to help you with fat burn, believe it or not. Even though you might not sweat as much, that's still really helping with fat burn after the workout's complete. And you want to be training the specific muscle group. Okay, so you want to be training your core if it's a flat stomach that you want, because you're still developing the muscle underneath the fat. You can develop the muscle while you burn the fat. I really hope that makes sense. But yeah, I'm super passionate about that. We've only got 2 questions left to ask. I'm actually going to be grabbing my dinner really quickly in this next one so you can see what I'm eating for dinner. But should you count calories for fat loss? Let's see what Alan has to say.
So should you count calories? And this is a really interesting question, and lots of people have a lot of variety of thoughts on it. You don't necessarily have to count calories in the traditional way of measuring and tracking your food every day to have a successful diet by any means, or to achieve any of the goals that you need to achieve. But calories need to be respected, and it is beneficial for people to maybe track for maybe a short period of time, so then they can kind of figure out what kind of range they're in and then maybe eyeball their diet from there. So you don't necessarily need to be counting calories, but your body is counting calories all the time. So even if you don't count them, but you're eating lots of calories and you're in a surplus, you're going to gain weight. And people can lose weight without counting by just bringing down their intake a little bit. So it's not something that I would prescribe for people long term. You know, it's because it can be a tedious thing, and then people can, there can be some negative behaviors around it, because some people can get a little bit kind of obsessed with the numbers and tracking and different things, and it's just not an enjoyable way to eat or be for most people, particularly the general population. But it is always a very beneficial tool for people to do. So if you track your calories for maybe 2 or 3 days, or 2 weekdays and 2 weekend days, you're going to learn a lot, and you're going to learn, you know, you might have been eating way more calories than you think, or your distribution throughout the day might not be right, or you might think you're eating enough protein and you're not, or there might be some micronutrients that may be low in your diet. So MyFitnessPal is a great app that you can use, set up a free account, and you can just input your food each day. It's got a really good database. So I would use it short term, or for periods of trying to really nail your diet. So if people have something coming up and they really want to tighten up on their intake, like if someone's going on holiday or something like that, or someone has a competition or anything, and they really want to tighten up, it's good for periods like that. But I would recommend it for everyone just as a learning tool, and then ideally you kind of figure out what your intake is like, and you can eyeball it from then.
Few questions coming in, but before we do, can you see this? Oh my freaking gosh, panoramic. So that right there, I'm trying not to tilt it too much, but this is tonight's dinner. So I have coconut brown rice. This is my top tip for rice. When you are making rice, add 1 tablespoon of coconut oil when you're cooking it, whether it's in a rice cooker or on the pan. The flavor is unreal. If you really want to go to town, get a little bit of ginger, slice the ginger and basically smack it so it kind of opens the like, can't think of the word, fragrance, and then pop that in as well, and even lemongrass. But anyway, just a tablespoon of olive oil, so good. And this is my sweet chili sea bass, actually, normally cod, but this is sea bass. I've got 2 fillets here just because I'm so hungry because we've just finished the workout. I've got mango, sweet chili, and onion. But anyway, moving back to these questions. So, oh my gosh, you guys are so amazing. Like, I can't believe, well, not I can't believe, but you're all hanging around. I know some of you have had to go, but you are unbelievable. So yeah, basically we only have 1 question left. This was, I personally think this was really, really interesting, because I know whether you girls, because this is specific to girls, whether you girls are asking it or not, a lot of girls are thinking it. And there's been a huge movement over the last like 5 years, definitely, towards taking protein, weight training, building muscle rather than just weight loss. And that's why I think this is a really awesome question. So even if you didn't ask it, a lot of people are thinking it, and it's, will eating too much protein make women bulky and too muscly? Do you know what I established the other day? I hate the word too, T-O-O. I hate the word too. It is very, very uncommon for the word too to be used in a positive light. It's always too sexual, too bulky, too opinionated. You're too annoying. How annoying is that word? So anyway, will eating too much protein make women too bulky and too muscly? This is what Alan had to say, and I'm going to get stuck in on this.
This question asks if eating protein and a higher protein intake will make a female bulky and too muscly. And really, like, the answer is no. Protein alone won't make someone have that physique, say. And it's kind of like, I've heard it a lot from female clients in the past that have said, I don't want to eat protein, or I don't want to take a protein powder because I don't want to build muscle or get too bulky. And it's kind of like, I heard a good analogy where someone said it's like saying I don't want to learn how to drive in case I become a Formula 1 driver. And when we look at the people on magazines, whether they're male, female, and bodybuilders and all of these people, they're like following a really, really strict eating program for years and years and years of a super high protein intake, along with a really high training volume aimed at building big muscles. So they've put a lot of work and effort into getting that physique. So for females, just adding more protein to your diet won't make you bulky or build a lot more muscle than you need. The exercise that you do is going to be a bigger determinant factor in the shape of your physique, say, and what muscles you build and where you build them.
Hi, Teddy. Mic drop. How good was that, guys? So, hi, Teddy. I want to show you Teddy because he's had a haircut. Hi, you smelt the food, didn't you? Can you see him? How cute is my little baby? You can't have that, Bubba. So he had a major haircut, and we're saying he looks a little bit like a rat. But how different does he look? Can you guys see his little face? Oh, you. So anyway, that's that. That was a nice long live. We had like 900 of you watch all of that Q&A. So thank you so much for staying around. Also, 1,500 of you doing the workout. Tomorrow is gonna be freaking amazing. Tuesdays are my favorite day because we're going in on legs. So you are gonna need weights. Teddy, if you haven't got weights tomorrow, please just grab water bottles, whatever you can get your hands on, absolutely fine. There's a few things I'd love you guys to do, and that is smash the thumbs up button if you haven't already. I think most of you already have. Also, hit subscribe if you haven't already, because I upload daily workout videos, and tag me in your Instagram stories, because that's what I found. Instagram stories and WhatsApping your friends are the two most effective ways of telling people about these workouts. Okay, mister. So if you wouldn't mind spreading the word, I know you already have, and I'm so, so, so thankful. And I promise to keep these Q&As coming and the workouts. I really, 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 really hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, I love you guys so much. I really, really do. I'm so thankful for this community. We're nearly at 400,000 subscribers. Like, how insane is that? Anyway, guys, I love you, and I will see you tomorrow for just a workout. No Q&A, and we have another Q&A on Wednesday. Bye, guys. Oh, hey, mister.